Hi students, welcome to lesson number 28, Social Stratification, Concept and Overview of Theories, Part A. Differentiation is the law of nature. True, it is in the case of human society. Human society is not homogeneous but heterogeneous. No two individuals are exactly alike. Diversity and inequality are inherent in society. Hence, human society is everywhere stratified. All societies arrange their members in terms of superiority, inferiority and equality. The vertical scale of evaluation, placing of people in strata or layers is called stratification. Those in the top stratum have more power, privileges and prestige than those below. Now let us discuss about objectives. The main objectives of this lesson are to discuss about the definitions and characteristics of social stratification, to analyze the theories of social stratification. Definitions. According to Auguste and Nimkoff, the process by which individuals and groups are ranked in a more or less enduring hierarchy of status is known as stratification. According to Gisbert, social stratification is the division of society into permanent groups of categories linked with each other by the relationship of superiority and subordination. According to Melvin M. Tumin, social stratification refers to arrangement of any social group or society into a hierarchy of positions that are unequal with regard to power, property, social evaluation and psychic gratification. Therefore, social stratification is ubiquitous. In all societies, there is social differentiation of the population by age, sex and personal characteristics. Strictly speaking, there are no purely equalitarian societies. Only societies differing in degree of stratification. P. A. Sorokin wrote in his Social Mobility that unstratified society with real equality of its members is a myth which has never been realized in the history of mankind. Now let us discuss the characteristics of social stratification. According to Melvin M. Tumin, the main attributes of social stratification are as follows. Number one, it is social. Stratification is social in the sense it does not represent biologically caused inequalities. It is true that such factors as strength, intelligence, age and sex can often serve as the basis on which statuses or strata are distinguished, but such differences by themselves are not sufficient to explain why some statuses receive more power, property and prestige than others. Biological traits do not determine social superiority and inferiority until they are socially recognized and given importance. For example, the manager of an industry attains a dominant position not by his physical strength nor by his age, but by having the socially defined traits. His education, training, skills, experience, personality, character, etc. are found to be more important than his biological equalities. Further, as Tumin has pointed out, the stratification system is number one, governed by social norms and sanctions. Number 2 is likely to be unstable because it may be disturbed by different factors. And number 3 is intimately connected with the other systems of society such as the political, family, religious, economic, educational and other institutions. Number 2, it is ancient. The stratification system is quite old. According to historical and archaeological records, stratification was present even in the small wandering bands. Ever since the time of Plato and Kautilya, social philosophers have been deeply concerned with economic, social and political inequalities. It is universal. The stratification system is a worldwide phenomenon. Difference between the rich and the poor or the haves and the have-nots is evident everywhere. Even in the non-literate societies, stratification is very much present. The next one is, it is in diverse forms. The stratification system has never been uniform in all the societies. The ancient Roman society was stratified into two strata, the patricians and the plebeians. The ancient Aryan society into four varnas, the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and the Shudras. The ancient Greek society into freemen and slaves. The ancient Chinese society into the mandarins, merchants, farmers and the soldiers and so on. Class, caste and estate seem to be the general forms of stratification to be found in the modern world. But stratification system seems to be much more complex in the civilized societies. The next one is, it is consequential. The stratification system has its own consequences. The most important, most desired and often the scarcest things in human life are distributed unequally because of stratification. The system leads to two main kinds of consequences. Number 1, life chances and number 2, lifestyles. Life chances refer to such things as infant mortality, longevity, physical and material illness, childlessness, marital conflict, separation and divorce. Lifestyles include such matters as the mode of housing, residential area, one's education, means of recreation, relationships between the parents and children, the kind of books, magazines and TV shows to which one is exposed, one's mode of conveyance and so on. Life chances are more involuntary, while lifestyles reflect differences in preferences, tastes and values. Theories of social stratification. The first one is social stratification, a functionalist perspective. Functionalist theories of stratification must be seen in the context of functionalist theories of society. They assume that society has certain basic needs or functional prerequisites that must be met if it is to survive. They therefore look to social stratification to see how far it meets these functional prerequisites. Functionalists assume that the parts of society form an integrated whole, and thus they examine the ways in which the social stratification system is integrated with other parts of society. They maintain that a certain degree of order and stability is essential for the operation of social systems. They will therefore consider how stratification system help to maintain order and stability in society. Now let us discuss about the Talcott-Parsons theory of social stratification. Talcott-Parsons believed that order, stability and cooperation in society are based on value consensus. That means a general agreement by members of society concerning what is good and worthwhile. Parsons argued that stratification systems derived from common values. If values exist, then it follows that individuals will be evaluated and placed in some form of rank order. In Parsons' words, stratification in its valuational aspect then is the ranking of units in a social system in accordance with the common value system. In other words, those who perform successfully in terms of society's values will be ranked highly and they will be likely to receive a variety of rewards. At a minimum, they will be accorded high prestige because they exemplify and personify common values. For example, if a society places a high value on bravery and generosity, as was the case of the Sioux Indians in North America, those who excel in terms of these qualities will receive a high rank in the stratification system. Because different societies have different value systems, the ways of attaining a high position will vary from society to society. Parsons argued that American society values individual achievement, efficiency and puts primary emphasis on productive activity within the economy. Thus, successful business executives who have achieved their position through their own initiative, ability and ambition and run efficient and productive business will receive high rewards. Parsons' argument suggests that stratification is an inevitable part of all human societies. If value consensus is an essential component of all societies, then it follows that some form of stratification will result from the ranking of individuals in terms of common values. It also follows from Parsons' argument that there is a general belief that stratification systems are just, right and proper, because they are basically an expression of shared values. Thus, American business executives are seen to deserve their rewards because members of society place a high value on their skills and achievements. This is not to say there is no conflict between the haves and have-nots, the highly rewarded and those with little reward. However, he believed that this conflict is kept in check by the common value system, which justifies the unequal distribution of rewards. Now then, organization and planning. Functionalists tend to see the relationship between social groups in society as one of cooperation and interdependence. In complex industrial societies, different groups specialize in particular activities. As no one group is self-sufficient, it alone cannot meet the needs of its members. It must therefore exchange goods and services with other groups. And so, the relationship between social groups is one of reciprocity, that means mutual give and take, in societies with a highly specialized division of labor, such as industrial societies, some members will specialize in organization and planning, while others will follow their directives. Parsons argued that this inevitably leads to inequality in terms of power and prestige. Thus, those with the power to organize and coordinate the activities of others will have a higher social status than those they direct. Then power. As with prestige differentials, Parsons argued that inequalities of power are based on shared values. Power is legitimate authority in what it is generally accepted as just and proper by members of society as a whole. It is accepted as such because those in positions of authority use their power to pursue collective goals which derive from society's central values. This use of power therefore serves the interests of society as a whole. Parsons saw social stratification as both inevitable and functional for a society. It is inevitable because it derives from shared values which are a necessary part of all social systems. It is functional because it serves to integrate various groups in society. Power and prestige differentials are essential for the coordination and integration of a specialized division of labor. Finally, inequalities of power and prestige benefit all members of society since they serve to further collective goals which are based on shared values. Now let us discuss about the Kingsley Davis and Wilbert E. Moore's theory of stratification. Devis and Moore began with the observation that stratification exists in every known human society. They attempted to explain in functional terms the universal necessity which calls forth stratification in any social system. They argued that all social systems share certain functional prerequisites which must be met if the system is to survive and cooperate efficiently. One such functional prerequisite is effective role allocation and performance. This means that number 1, all roles must be filled. Number 2, they must be filled by those best able to perform them. Number 3, the necessary training for them must be undertaken. Number 4, the roles must be performed conscientiously. Devis and Moore argued that all societies need some mechanism for ensuring effective role allocation and performance. This mechanism is social stratification, which they saw as a system that attaches unequal rewards and privileges to the different positions in society. If the people and positions that make up society did not differ in important respects, there would be no need for stratification. However, people differ in terms of their innate ability and talent, and positions differ in terms of their importance for the survival and maintenance of society. Certain positions are more functionally important than others. These require special skills for their effective performance, and the number of individuals with the necessary ability to acquire such skills is limited. A major function of stratification is to match the most able people with the functionally most important positions. It does this by attaching high rewards to those positions. The desire for such rewards motivates people to compete for them, and in theory, the most talented will win through. Such positions usually require long periods of training that involve certain sacrifices. The promise of high rewards is necessary to provide an incentive to encourage people to undergo this training and to compensate them for the sacrifice involved. It is essential for the well-being of society that those who hold the functionally most important positions perform their roles diligently and conscientiously. The high rewards built into those positions provide the necessary inducement and generate the required motivation for such performance. Devis and Moore therefore concluded that social stratification is a device by which societies ensure that the most important positions are conscientiously filled by the most qualified persons. To summarize, Devis and Moore regarded social stratification as a functional necessity for all societies. They saw it as a solution to a problem faced by all social systems, that of placing and motivating individuals in the social structure. They offered no other means of solving this problem and implied that social inequality is an inevitable feature of human society. They concluded that differential rewards are functional for society because they contribute to the maintenance and well-being of social systems. Summary: social differentiation is the nature of human society. Almost all the societies in the world are stratified in terms of race or class or caste or gender. Social stratification is a universal social phenomena.